Today, I have the privilege of training the best powerlifter of all time and see if we can create a new Strongman world champion. Okay, so OSG, how many Strongman shows have you actually done?
Total, I think it's like 4, but 2 of them are like just super light, like the local shows.
Yeah.
I've only really done like, actually, it might be like 5 or 6 now. Like the one major one I did was KS Classic last year in the UK. So that was kind of the first one of me going against like real competition, not just like local guys where I could just kind of get by on my strength alone.
Yeah.
I actually had to prep for it and then had a blast with it.
Yeah.
And did a lot better than I thought. So like, all right, maybe I can.
Now, I talked with Laws, so we're gonna work on your yoke,
Okay.
your stones, your throwing, and one other thing. I'll pop that.
Wrecking ball hold.
Wrecking ball hold, which is so stupid as an event. It's honestly, it is not a test of strength. It's just pain. But
Okay. How does that compare? So I did a YouTube video where I was talking about the events and I was like, oh, I think the day 2, which is the max rep axle bar deadlift and the sandbag medley. I was like, that's gonna be the hardest day. Like day 3 is the wrecking ball hold, sandbag throw, and atlas stones. I'm like, at least like wrecking ball hold and like sandbag throws aren't like the most taxing events. And someone came on and was like saying that the wrecking ball was the worst. Is that true?
yes.
Damn.
Yes.
All right.
Because when they initially put in the wrecking ball, the idea was that it would be like a grip event where you're holding out in front. But what it ends up being is that your fingers are pinned against your thighs.
Okay.
So it's not grip at all. It's like you're hook gripping with all 4 of your fingers. So your hands are locked in. And then what you lose is like your ability to stand up. And so it's just slowly sort of caving you and pulling you down.
Damn.
I'll tell you about how I've worked around that,
Okay.
but it is horrendous.
All right.
Way worse than you would think. We're gonna kick into yoke first. I basically know what I'm gonna do. It's funny because your strength level is so high, but your experience level is relatively low.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we take these beginner tips and apply them to a world-class athlete? But this dude is capable of absolutely crushing it, and I'm gonna play a small part in getting him there as Law's assistant for the day. Let's get stuck into it.
Oh yeah.
Now, the yoke in contest, how heavy is it?
800 pounds.
And how does that relate to what you're capable of?
It'll be difficult for like the 50 feet, but I think I could do it in like.
Okay, so more of a heavier, slower one than like run with it?
Yeah, like some guys will be fast with it, or a lot of guys will be fast with it, but.
Sure. Okay, what do you know so far about how to put the yoke on your back? Just talk me through like your understanding.
So I try and get it like, I guess, I'm trying to pull it in, I guess. I don't know, I've tried pushing it out, kind of getting the back is rigid. Otherwise, I just kind of.
You just sort of get with it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Couple things. So, first, you don't want to be pulling in as much as you want to be pushing forward.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you want to do this in a particular way. First of all, this is going to be in a high bar setup. Yeah. So we're trying to sit it on top of your chops. The challenge is if your head is in the way, there's really nowhere for it to sit, so it's going to continually slide back.
Okay.
So when you're doing the yoke and you're looking, your goal shouldn't be to look at the finish line.
Okay.
Your goal should be to look about 2 meters or 3 meters out in front of you.
Okay.
Okay. What that's going to do is you can pick this up, and you can stick your head forward, and so you see it's on my traps. My head is totally out the way. Now my hands are here, and I put forward pressure onto the yoke. Instead, if it's empty, it's hydroplaning a little bit. Okay, so let's try that first, just with your back or your neck position. Okay, go down.
Yep.
Let's get it right there. Yeah. Good. We'll talk about movement cues in a second, but let's just take it down and back a couple of times. I'll warm up with you.
Might go a little lower.
A little low, yeah, a little low. For context, we're always changing the height of the yoke depending on how fast we expect to move.
Okay.
The slower and heavier you expect it to be, the higher you want it, and you want very little clearance because you're going to expect to drop, to have to pick up, drop again. So if you're having a bad day, raise the yoke height slightly and you'll be a little bit better off.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Do you find when it gets up to 800 pounds that it feels heavy when you pick it up or only when you start to move?
More when I start to move.
Cool, all right. We'll leave the start as it is then. Now, one thing that I want you to get around with your movements from the lightest weight is if you have any sort of bend in your knee when you land, you're now gonna be working through your quad. If you can slam your foot into the ground and almost walk through your hip rather than your knees, you're gonna be able to use your glutes, your hamstrings, your low back.
Okay.
Way more powerful. Head is forward, you're sitting high on your chops, you pick it up, and you're landing with straight legs. Yes, John, way better.
I guess, sorry.
Way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. The other thing in strongman is there's so much less regulation than in powerlifting. So have you been told if you're allowed to wear a grip shirt?
I think we can.
Cool, if you can, 100% non-negotiable. We used some chalk today,
Yeah.
but it is insane the amount of difference that stability can make.
Yeah, I'll wear it for like some of my sessions and I forgot it for a couple of them. I was like, oh shit, this sucks.
Yeah, especially if you get a little bit sweaty.
Yeah.
Disaster. And honestly, it's a disaster if your technique isn't perfect. If it's perfect, you'll be totally fine up to maximum weight.
Yep.
But of course, at some stage, something has to give. Yeah? One funny thing, catch him front on next time he runs. It's like his glutes are constantly activated. So like when he goes to take off, he's even still like ready to hit a max squat as he starts to take off.
Oh yeah, you'll notice, especially when it gets heavy, it's like I get like bow-legged as fuck.
Yeah. Why? Why do you think?
I don't know. I think it's just like the shape of my hips. Like I think I'm just bow-legged.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So like I almost like have to go like side to side a little bit.
One other thing that's difficult on the yoke to conceptualize when you're used to like heavy singles, breathing. Do your best for it not to be a thing.
Okay.
Yeah. The most breathing you should be doing is like.
Okay.
That's it. Especially when it's a yoke by itself. You can be gassed at the end. That's fine.
Okay.
But once you breathe out,
Yeah.
that brace is gone. You're never going to breathe against that heavy weight.
That makes
again.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Really good job with the fast feet. You got to work on those knees being straight.
Yeah.
100%. Good. Perfect. And that yoke height's perfect as well. So one thing you can do, just because you're doing car walk, not yoke, right?
Yep.
Have you been thinking about any differences that could arise there?
Not really.
So in the car, there's pins in the front and the back.
Okay.
So the weight will be like 3 feet out in front of you and 3 feet behind you.
Okay.
And so the inertia for that to like rock and swing you is way worse.
Okay.
So being smooth with your acceleration is really the biggest thing. But you're gonna need a little bit more clearance on that car because they weld the wheels so that they won't move.
Okay.
If you tap the ground,
Yeah.
it'll slip off your back.
Okay.
It's horrible. Stay tall. Nice. Dude, that's so good. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. Cool. 60 pounds.
Yeah.
So the big thing with sandbags.
What's up, man? Yeah.
You're been following for a while.
Oh, thanks.
What's up, Mitch?
All right.
What's your name?
Zach.
Nice to meet you, man.
All right. Now the thing with sandbags is it's more about rhythm than anything. And if the sandbag is light, you can just sort of rip it and you're totally fine.
Yeah.
But the biggest cue for me on this is to be patient. Because the early part of the pull, you just want to start to build the momentum and you want that to be moving the fastest when you're up there. And so the two cues are going to be reach through your legs. How far is really individual, but once it starts to swing, go at like a 5 out of 10 speed. And then when it gets to about here, then we explode. And then your hands have to be as high as possible when you let go of that to be able to get that accelerated. Yeah? So the way you know if you're doing it well is if you feel the weight of the sandbag the whole time, okay? If you go too fast, what most people do, it'll throw you out in front. Yeah. Your bow legs are actually gonna do you favors here because I can stay away from the bag. I would say for you, this is a major one, because if you can't finish the sandbag,
Yeah, I was actually
5 or 6 guys will.
Yeah, I was concerned. I was more concerned about it because I was like, fuck, like I'm having such a tough time with this 50-pounder. Like a lot of these guys are gonna get it, but I looked at last year events, and only I think 2 guys finished it. So I'm like, all right, like
Is that right?
yeah, 2 or 3 maybe.
Okay. When you grab the sandbag, you're gonna sink it as deep into your palm as possible.
Okay.
And you're gonna curl your wrist underneath.
Okay.
Okay, if we can shorten that moment arm, it's gonna help tremendously. Okay, then here, smooth. Cool, simple as that. Nice, beautiful. Do you have a proper place to train sandbags right now?
Yeah.
Cool, you got the bar?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
If it goes too far back, it means you accelerated it too late with your hands.
Okay.
If it goes too far forward, it means you accelerated it too far underneath you.
Okay.
Yeah, maximum acceleration here is what we're going for.
Okay.
Yeah, people will say it's about where you let go of the bag, and that's true to an extent. But if you actually slow down footage of people throwing sandbags, you don't like let go of it here one time and here another time.
Yeah.
It's virtually the same every single time.
Yeah, it seems like I'm usually letting it go like around here, let's say.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So probably have some room to work on that.
Yeah.
If you can just see, the max acceleration is going to happen here, because obviously that's not as strong.
Yeah.
But if you can go from here to here, that's just like a foot more
Yeah.
clearance if you can hold the speed. Beautiful. Look at that. Money. Absolute money. Okay. Now, we're gonna stick at 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Now we gotta incorporate more explosion of the legs. So we
Okay.
gotta get up onto the toes, a little bit of a jump, but just let your hands sort of follow along the path.
Okay.
Moderate effort. Jump.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Jump.
Okay.
Get up there. It's really important what happens to you after you let go of the bag.
Okay.
If you're here and forward, huge power leak.
Okay.
Because you can lean your body back into it.
Okay.
If you can lean your body back in and jump, that's a massive advantage.
Okay.
It's getting better,
Yeah.
but we're not jumping.
Okay.
Can I show you what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, I got high.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's just because I jumped.
Yeah.
If you jumped, it would go that high too.
Okay.
Your toes do not leave the ground. You're so powerful.
I feel like
You
I'm
can do it.
trying to use like more of like a deadlift than like a squat,
Right,
I
but
guess.
deadlift is gonna send you here.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's almost like you deadlift the first half,
Okay.
and then you squat the second half.
Okay.
Yeah? Like
Yeah.
a jump squat. I just wanna see your feet leave the ground
Okay.
more than if my dad was doing a vertical jump. Okay, better. Better? It just
Yeah.
sends you forward. Beauty.
Oh, that was best.
Okay, a little bit far on that one. So, right, left, but you want to throw the bag out in front of you a bit.
Okay. Okay.
Do you see how I'm going with the bag?
Yeah.
Okay, better.
That felt better.
Now let's jump
Okay.
and think about releasing that as high as possible. This is not the way to teach someone giving 100 cues, but we got John for
Okay.
a couple of hours today, not a couple of weeks. Jump high, release high. Oh. All the way up. Good, we jumped.
Yeah, I
We
went forward.
jumped. Wasn't perfect, but we
Yeah,
jumped.
went forward with that one.
Cool. Really difficult with a 60-pound bag when you're
Yeah.
expected to do 50. But when you go back and practice this, try to see if you can't get that rhythm, because then it's going to take out you picking up the 45,
Yeah.
bringing it closer, getting ready, then going. Those little split time things will be massive.
Yeah, that was something I noticed, like watching just my competitors. Like that's something that's like very different about Strongman. Is like I feel like I have to do like a lot more like scouting to see like, because powerlifting is like it's 3 movements. I just have to do my best on squat, bench, deadlift.
Yes.
Like
All right. This is 170,
okay,
and then I've got 120, so at 270.
270.
So we'll probably just be working with those two today. Then I've got 403 some odd. No tacky here. Way better to learn how to do stones without tacky, because then it's just the difference between what you can lift without tacky and with tacky.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's how much you're relying on it.
Yep.
So some guys need the tacky to be absolutely perfect, or they fuck it up. So if you can get strong just with some chalk, then it's perfect. These stones have never had tacky on them.
Okay.
So the slipperiest, hardest stones that you're going to use.
Okay.
But it's more about grip on stones than anything else. Good. Last one, but keep your hips higher. Think RDL, not deadlift. Good. Awesome. Beautiful. All right. So we're in the lap. Instead of sitting here, you're gonna keep your hips high and you're gonna bring your hands over top the stone. From here, hips back, and you're gonna thrust it forward, okay? So it's a thrust of your hips, your knees get soft and you're pulling it up your body. That way you can actually generate some hip power rather than just trying to squat and roll.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, now that stone, if it was heavy, would have just fallen through your legs onto the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, so you still want the stone sitting on your legs.
Okay.
You just want to get over top here.
Okay.
Okay, give me one more.
Okay.
But in terms of explosion, that was great.
Okay.
Okay, reach over top. Good. Perfect. Perfect. So it's light, obviously, but you're getting so much power and speed. It's actually like rotating off of your chest.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Effort-wise, where does that sit you?
That's pretty low.
Yeah.
Like medium, I guess like a 7 maybe.
Okay, squeeze with your forearms. Okay, hands over top and thrust your hips. Nice. So good, dude.
Yeah.
Another really good tip when you get to a heavy stone that you're trying to extend to a platform, don't try to get it to the platform, try to roll it up your body.
Okay.
So you shoot your knees forward and roll that up this way,
okay,
and then you can place it on.
Yeah.
If you try to extend it out, you're gonna end up in this position where you're here,
and then like,
again, trying to pull, and it's just gonna sit a little bit too low. Nice. Okay, over top, hips high. Hips were too low.
Okay.
Okay, try to get your hands all the way around to the bottom of the stone.
Okay.
It's not gonna happen, but make that your intention. Oh. Yes. Nice. That's all right. That's all right. Perfect. Technically, I really like that last one.
Yeah, I felt
especially because the issue there is like it's rolling up your body so fast. It's not going to happen, and when you have tacky on your hands, you're not just going to be able to like throw it off.
Yeah.
But that looks really powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just challenge you and let's go up the platforms a bit.
I started lifting for football, so squat, bench, not really too much deadlift, but we did hang queens. But yeah, I mean like squat, bench are so part of the training, and then I ended up being really good at them. So makes it fun to train them.
And were you a freak from the get-go?
Strength-wise, like pound for pound, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, so I graduated high school, I was like 150 pounds, but I could bench like around 300.
Yeah,
so,
right. And you were 150.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You forgot your breakfast. Jesus Christ. Wow.
I had a growth spurt my freshman year college. I grew like 3 inches and put on like 30 pounds. I was like, God damn, this would have been so nice for football.
Wait, how tall are you now?
Like 5'9".
So you graduated high school at 5'6", 150.
Yeah.
Oh, so all of those kids in my DMs, if you're saying, I'm whatever, can I do whatever? 5'6", 150 at 18 years old. John Haack. Okay, over top. Yes, good. There you go. Good, dude. Good. One. Now just don't panic, yeah? You're gonna get it high enough. Don't panic with your feet. Don't try and throw it. Bring it up onto your chest, then bring it to the platform. Okay, now keep the hips high, reach under the stone. Good, and drive hard onto the chest. Cool, good. Now you see that last one. If you don't panic, you always have the opportunity to pin the stone and push it on.
Yeah.
And the stone weight with tacky, you would almost be able to like push it 3/4 of the way on if you had to. But that platform height is going to be higher than the ones that you use, even the highest platform.
Yeah.
I believe at OSG.
Yeah,
Unreal,
I felt a lot better.
Well done. Very well done.
Yeah.
All right, training session with John Haack in the books. Comment down below if you think he's going to win. I just said off camera, you've got the advantage that any event you go into, you're going to know that you're the strongest. It's just, can you harness that strength into being a good strongman? And
I do feel a lot more confident after today, to be honest.
Good.
So the events we worked on today were the ones that I was like a little iffy on, and like the 120 stone, getting it up to that height was definitely one of those things that I'm just like I look at it and I'm like, I don't know if I can get that, but just the little tips and like made it feel so much more comfortable, like rolling it up high and everything. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, between that and the yoke, the throwing you're gonna have to experiment a little bit with, but I think between those two, great strides made today. And fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'll be in your corner.
Appreciate
Best
it.
of luck. Let us know how you think John's gonna do down in the comments. And this is one of the coolest powerlifting transitions to strongman in history. So I'm a very small part of that. And how cool. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
As per usual, lift heavy, be kind, and we will catch you tomorrow.